my dear bakers. Are you ready to fill your kitchen with the aroma of freshly baked goodness? Today, we're making a scrumptious carrot cake. This recipe is perfect for Easter celebrations, spring gatherings, or simply a delightful afternoon treat. With its moist texture, warm spices, and creamy frosting, our carrot cake is sure to become a family favorite. Don't worry if you're new to baking. This recipe is incredibly straightforward. Let's gather our ingredients and embark on this delicious baking adventure together. Before we begin baking, let's take a moment to gather all the ingredients and tools we'll need. Being prepared makes the process smoother, more enjoyable, and stress-free. Think of baking like creating art. Just as an artist sets out their paints and brushes, we should have everything ready to fully enjoy the experience. Here's a complete list for our delicious carrot cake and creamy frosting. Let's go step by step and check off each item together. For the cake itself, start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. This will give our cake structure and a soft, tender crumb. Next, measure out 2 teaspoons of baking soda. This is our leavening agent, helping the cake rise and become light and fluffy. Add 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon for that warm, comforting spice that pairs perfectly with carrots. Then include 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, which adds a subtle depth of flavor. Sprinkle in 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves for a hint of earthiness, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt to balance the sweetness and enhance all the flavors. You'll also need 1½ cups of granulated sugar. This not only sweetens the cake, but also helps keep it moist. Pour in 3/4 cup of vegetable oil, which will make the cake rich and tender. Crack in 4 large eggs, one at a time, to bind everything together and add structure. Don't forget 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. This simple ingredient brings all the flavors together and adds a lovely aroma. Now, the star of the show, 2 cups of freshly grated carrots. These not only give the cake its signature flavor and color, but also keep it moist and tender. If you enjoy a bit of crunch and extra flavor, add 1 cup of chopped walnuts or pecans. This is optional, but it adds a wonderful texture and nutty taste to every bite. For the luscious cream cheese frosting, you'll need 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. Let it sit at room temperature so it blends smoothly. You'll also need 1/2 cup of unsalted butter, softened. This will make your frosting creamy and rich. Sift 3 cups of powdered sugar to ensure your frosting is silky and free of lumps. And finally, add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract to the frosting for that extra touch of sweetness and aroma. With all these ingredients ready, you're set to create a carrot cake that's as beautiful as it is delicious. Now that our ingredients are prepped, let's get our baking equipment ready. It's like setting the stage for a grand performance. First, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. Next, grease and flour 2 9-inch round cake pans. This ensures our cakes won't stick and will have beautiful, smooth sides. Let's dive into the heart of our carrot cake, the batter. This is where the magic begins, as each ingredient adds flavor and texture. Get ready to turn simple pantry staples into something truly special. In a large bowl, start by whisking together the flour, baking soda, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and a pinch of salt. Each of these dry ingredients brings its own unique character to the mix. The flour provides structure, while the baking soda ensures our cake rises beautifully and stays light and fluffy. Warm spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves give carrot cake its signature cozy flavor and aroma. As you add them in, enjoy the comforting scent that brings back memories of home and festive moments. In a separate bowl, combine the sugar, oil, eggs, and a splash of vanilla extract. Whisk them together until the mixture is smooth and glossy. The oil keeps the cake moist, the eggs bind everything together, and the vanilla adds a subtle sweetness that enhances all the other flavors. Now, it's time to bring the dry and wet ingredients together. Gradually add the dry mixture to the wet, mixing on low speed or gently by hand. Be careful not to overmix. Just stir until everything is incorporated. Overmixing can make the cake dense, and we want it to stay tender and light. Next, gently fold in the grated carrots. This is where the cake truly comes to life. The carrots not only add beautiful color, but they also bring natural sweetness and moisture, ensuring every bite is soft and flavorful. And here's a little secret: using freshly grated carrots makes all the difference. They release more juice and sweetness than pre-shredded ones, making your cake extra moist and delicious. Take your time grating them. It's worth the effort for that perfect texture. If you fancy a bit of crunch, now's the time to fold in some chopped walnuts or pecans. These nuts add a delightful texture and a rich, nutty flavor that pairs perfectly with the sweet, spiced cake. Whether you add them or not, your batter is now a true symphony of flavors, ready to be baked into something unforgettable. Divide the batter evenly between the prepared cake pans. Spread the batter evenly in each pan, ensuring it reaches all corners. Pop those pans into the preheated oven and let them bake for 30 to 35 minutes. To check if they're done, insert a toothpick into the center of the cakes. If it comes out clean, they're ready. Once baked, remove the cakes from the oven and let them cool in the pans for 10 minutes. Then, carefully invert them onto a wire rack to cool completely. Patience is key here, as frosting warm cakes will lead to a melty mess. While our cakes cool, let's whip up the most divine cream cheese frosting. In a large bowl, beat together the softened cream cheese and butter until smooth and creamy. Gradually add the powdered sugar, 1 cup at a time, beating well after each addition. Stir in the vanilla extract. For an extra touch of zesty flavor, try adding a teaspoon of orange zest to your frosting. Once the frosting is made, pop it in the refrigerator to chill for about 30 minutes. This will make it easier to spread on our cakes. Now comes the most exciting and rewarding part of our baking journey, assembling your very own carrot cake masterpiece. After all the careful measuring, mixing, and baking, it's finally time to bring everything together and see your hard work pay off. This is where your creativity can truly shine, and where your kitchen transforms into your own personal bakery. First, make sure your cakes are completely cool to the touch. This is important, because if the cakes are even a little bit warm, the frosting can melt and slide right off. Once you're sure they're cool, gently place 1 cake layer on your favorite serving plate or cake stand. Take a moment to admire the golden color and the little flecks of carrot and nuts peeking through. Next, grab your chilled cream cheese frosting. Using a spatula or the back of a spoon, spread a thick, generous layer right on top of the first cake. Don't be shy with the frosting. This is what makes carrot cake so irresistible. Spread it all the way to the edges, making sure every bite will be creamy and delicious. Now carefully lift the second cake layer and gently place it on top of the frosted base. Try to line up the edges so your cake looks nice and even. With the layers stacked, it's time to frost the entire cake. Scoop the remaining frosting onto the top and sides and use your spatula or a butter knife to smooth it out. Take your time here. This is your chance to make the cake look as beautiful as it tastes. You can go for a rustic swirled look or try to get it perfectly smooth. Either way, it's going to be delicious. Now let your creativity bloom. This is where you can really make the cake your own. Think of it as a blank canvas, ready for your personal touch. Decorate your carrot cake however you like. You might want to keep it simple, or go all out with fun and festive toppings. For a classic look, sprinkle chopped walnuts or pecans around the edges of the cake, or press them gently into the sides. The nuts add a lovely crunch and a beautiful finish. If you have a piping bag, you can pipe pretty swirls or rosettes of frosting on top. Even using a fork or the back of a spoon, you can create fun patterns and textures. For a rustic, homey touch, dust the top with a little ground cinnamon. The warm spice not only looks beautiful, but also adds an extra layer of flavor that pairs perfectly with the cake. And there you have it, a beautiful homemade carrot cake that looks just as good as it tastes. Take a moment to admire your creation. You've turned simple ingredients into something truly special, and that's something to be proud of. I really hope you give this recipe a try in your own kitchen. There's something so satisfying about baking from scratch and sharing the results with the people you care about. It's incredibly rewarding to see your hard work come together in a cake that's not only delicious but also made with love and care. Every bite is a reminder of your effort and creativity. And remember, baking is always best when it's shared. Invite your family or friends to join you at the table and watch their faces light up as they take their first bite. There's nothing quite like the joy of sharing homemade treats with loved ones. So, gather your loved ones, pour a cup of tea or coffee, and make an occasion out of it. These are the moments that turn an ordinary day into something memorable. Savor every bite of your homemade carrot cake masterpiece. You've earned it. Thank you for baking along with me, and happy baking until next time.